This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone, good morning. Today I want to discuss about how to design our card validation system program. So in the previous session we discussed it, right? We want to implement one project which includes three services: card validation system, billing management system, order processing system. So to implement these three services as one project together, first I want to start with card validation system. So in the card validation system, what I want to do is I want to accept credit card number. I want to accept credit card number. Okay. And if the credit card number is, I want to do some small condition checking on the credit card number. Okay. Let's assume a small logic. If the credit card number is greater than 5,000, it's a valid credit card. If the credit card number is less than 5,000, I want to treat it as an invalid credit card. So guys, credit card number don't contain 4 digits. I mean, in real world, credit card number contains 16 digits, right? This is just an example. I'm not really implementing the card validation system here. It's just a small dummy logic. Okay, a dummy logic we are implementing, and I want to implement a decision logic, if then kind of decision I want to implement here in this service. So see, this is the format of input I am expecting for my card validation system, which contains one complex element and two simple elements. And my card, this is the format I am expecting for response. So one complex element and three simple elements. See, if you observe the last field, CC status, here I want to pass either valid or invalid status based on the execution of business logic. So what is our business logic here? If the credit card number is greater than 5,000, set the CC status as valid. If the credit card number is less than 5,000, set the CC status as invalid. A simple conditional logic I want to implement in card validation system. Any questions till now? A simple condition. Okay, now so to implement this, what we need to do, see, now you can directly go to JDeveloper and develop the card validation system, no doubt in that. But from the previous session we decided to use the GitHub and Git, right? So for that we need to follow the steps. First thing, you need to clone uh, clone Git repository into developer's machine. Okay, if you already cloned it, you can skip this step. Suppose if you see in my machine, I already cloned the repository. I already cloned it. Okay, so if you don't clone it, if the repository is not in your developer's machine, you perform this step. Okay, next step, create new feature branch, name it as feature slash card validation system. I'm just giving a small naming convention, CVS. Okay, it's completely user defined, guys. You no need to follow strict naming convention here. I mean, in your work, whatever the conventions people are following, you can follow the same convention. And now check out into feature slash CVS branch. Okay, check out into CVS feature slash CVS branch. Okay, let me go to my repository. Step number 6 I already completed. If you don't have this, you can do this as a fresh step, not an issue, guys. Let me do that. Step number 6. What I will do, I will create a folder. What is the date? I just give some naming convention to this folder. Um, I will say 27/07/2022, some folder name. Here I need to go to git bash. How to clone? We have a command, right, to perform the clone. I shared a command with you. You have to use your git repository URL. I am using my git repository URL. You have to use your git repository URL. Okay, let me do this. I created a new folder. Within this folder, see, this is the folder. Within this folder, open it and right click and go to git bash here. So once you are doing git bash, you will get the command prompt. maybe the command prompt color is different for you. You may get a black color command prompt with the white color font. Okay, I just changed it for visibility purpose. You can paste the command git clone and our git repository URL. Just click enter button. Guys, if you are doing this first time, if you are doing this clone operation for the first time, it will ask you to enter username and password, your GitHub username and GitHub password. Okay, that is only for one time. You will get a pop-up. In the pop-up, you need to enter your username and password. Okay, don't forget. You will get a separate pop-up to enter the username and password. And second time onwards, you don't get the username and password. Just click the enter button. So what happened? I'm able to clone the Git repository. So clone part is completed. Step number 6 completed. So step number 7, I want to create a new feature branch. So guys, we already have the feature branch, right? Yesterday I created the feature branch. So what is the command to create the feature branch? I shared a command with you. Git branch name is the command to create the new feature branch. And then I want to check out the feature branch. That means I want to enter into my feature branch. Okay, what we need to do first, go to the repository, enter into the repository, cd, what's our folder name? cd June 2022. Okay, this is the correct folder. This is our repository name. Once you enter, you can see here the branch name is visible here. Okay, that means now you are using the Git. You are in a Git repository. Okay, so now first what we need to do, we are in main branch, but we don't want to stay in the main branch. As per our steps, we want to go to the new branch. We want to enter into the new branch which we created in step number 7. Okay, so step number 7 I already completed in the previous session. That's what I am not creating a new branch. I just want to check out the branch. Go to this, and how to check out the branch, sir? Git. Taking time. Give me a second, guys. My machine struck. What happened? I just opened another Git prompt. Git checkout. CHECKOUT checkout. And what is our branch name? Feature slash card validation system. This is the branch name. I want to check out card validation system. Done. Now observe our control. Now we are in CVS branch. Earlier we are in main branch. Now we checked out into CVS branch. Okay. The next step, open SOA application in JDeveloper. Open SOA application in JDeveloper. See, this is the clone location. This is the clone location. Here you can see our application. Now go to your JDeveloper, open the application. So our application no more in C drive. I deleted my application which is in C drive because I don't want to depend on this folder. Let me go to E drive. No, not E drive. I did the clone in D drive. If you go to D drive, see, this is the folder. I cloned my repository, GitHub repository. Go to the folder. Okay. So this is our application. Browse the JWS file. Done. Now I'm able to open my application. So what I want to do, I want to create a new SOA project, a simple logic I want to implement in this SOA project. Let me do this quickly. Create a new project. So what I can do here, I will write the step, implement card validation system project. Okay, and then perform testing on card validation system. Okay, done. Let's complete step number 10 and step number 11. Okay, what I need to do, I want to create a new SOA project. New SOA project. This is the regular process what we do. New SOA project, right? I want SOA project. Click OK. And I want to name it as card validation system. Let it come, let it allow to populate the pop-up. It is loading all the files. Let it do that. Do you remember yesterday we deleted some extra files, right? So all the extra files are every time they will get generated. So if we delete them, Jada will try to create them. So it is taking long time. Done. Okay, we got the pop-up. Okay, good. So now let me give a name for this program, card validation system. Card validation system. And this project contains SOA suite features. Click next. See guys, in the last project we selected empty composite, right? It's your choice. You can go with the people process as well. I want a people process anyway. If you go to empty composite, what will happen? You have to explicitly configure the people process after you create the project. Suppose if you select composite with empty people, composite with people process, immediately in the next step the people component pop-up will ask you to do the configuration. Okay, just let me do finish. Sorry, yes. Taking time. So, I mean, sometimes Jada will take time to load the components, at least for the first time. If we are doing something for the first time, that related features, it will try to load and it will take time. So don't worry, 1 or 2 minutes, leave your JDeveloper. That will preload all the required configurations and then do the project. Okay, done. If you see this, open composite file, what happened, we'll see. Open your composite file. It is not loading. Looks like not done.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, we got the people pop-up now. So because at the time of project creation itself, we said create the project along with people. So you no need to explicitly drag drop the people. Okay. So by default, the people pop-up coming here, what you can do, you can configure the people card validation system. Just give any naming convention, guys. Okay. Card validation system people. I'm using practice.com. So this is my target namespace, and I want to design this service as a synchronous service. Sorry, not this one. So I want to create that synchronous template. I want to create the synchronous template. Okay. We used this synchronous template in Hello World program. Again, I'm using the synchronous template in card validation system. Okay, just say okay. See here, because I selected synchronous template, there are two XSDs created, are going to create. One is process XSD, another is process response XSD. Okay, just click OK. Now what happened? You will get a SOA project with one synchronous people web service. Okay, let's observe what are all the files got created. See here, this is your composite file which contains a request component and a beeple component. And if you go to beeple component, inside beeple there is a receive activity and a reply activity. This is the reply activity because we are using synchronous template. And you can see the variable summary. There is an input variable and output variable. And observe the project. You can see an XSD. You can see an XSD document with two XSDs, process and process response. And you can also see the WSDL. You can check the WSDL. This is the WSDL, synchronous WSDL. The font is very small. Let me copy the content and I will go to notepad file and paste it. I will change the font settings in my JDeveloper later, guys. I don't want to kill the time. You can see here, this WSDL contains two messages and one port type. Because this WSDL is a synchronous WSDL. It has only one operation. With input and output parameters. Okay, done. So now let's go back. You can also check the XSD also. You can see process XSD and process response XSD. Anyway, this is not this is not the required format for our card validation system. I already show you what is the format we are expecting, right? The request format, it is expecting one complex element and two simple elements, and the response format, it is expecting one complex element and three simple elements. Okay, let me do the required modifications in my XSD. If I go to XSD, the font is very small. Okay, let me increase the font. See the font here. Let me put it 14. Not enough. Preferences. Let me put it 18. Okay, is it visible for you guys? Shall I increase some more?
Yes, sir. No.
Or I will do little bit. Let's make it 20. Okay, done. Right. So now you can see the font. It is good, right? Now you can see the good enough font. Okay. So the request XSD and response XSD, if you observe, they are not in the expected format because these are system generated default XSDs. I want to modify them. So guys, if you modify the XSD as per your requirement, let me modify the request XSD. It is expecting three elements: CC number, CC vendor as the simple elements, CC number, I mean credit card number, okay, and then CC vendor, I mean Visa, Master, I mean who is going to validate your card, okay, CC vendor. Now, so guys, if you modify the simple elements in your XSD, if you modify sub elements in your XSD, there is no impact on your WSDL. There is no impact on your WSDL. Message name is an alias name of XSD, right? Message name is an alias name of XSD. If you modify only sub elements, there is no impact in your WSDL. Okay, but suppose if you modify the complex element, so what is the complex element I'm expecting? Card request. If you modify the complex element, that affects your message type in WSDL. Observe. See, it is showing the error. So process is no more. I changed the XSD name as card request. Okay. Card request. So what I want to do, the same naming convention I want to use in my WSDL. Okay, now see the error gone. Just save your WSDL. Okay, so make sure whenever you are doing modifications in your XSD, if you are modifying the complex element, the impact will be there in your WSDL. Always remember this. Okay, and if your beeple process contains any element type variables, as of now my beeple contains two variables but they are not element type, so I have no issue. Suppose if you have a variable with element type, then the variable also affected if you change the complex element name in your XSD. Okay, because element type variable created based on the name of the XSD. So if you change the name of the XSD itself, then the element type variable will be affected. Okay, done. So same thing I want to do for my response XSD. Response XSD is expecting one complex element one complex element and three simple elements. Let me change the complex element and I want three simple elements. Okay, what are they? CC number, CC vendor, and I'm expecting status, CC
Status.
status, CC status. Of course, you can change the data types. Integer, integer, this is integer, because these are all numbers. Oh, sorry, CC vendor is a string. Sorry, not integer. And here also CC vendor, Visa, Master, these are strings, right? Not integers. Credit card vendors. Done? Any question? So I modified the XSD, I modified the WSDL. Okay, in the WSDL, we need to modify the response XSD name. What is our response XSD name? Card response.
Card response.
Let's modify this. Now you can see, the WSDL is ready as per your requirement. You simply go to your people process. Let's concentrate on the business. So guys, I no need to remove the receive activity and reply activity. It is enough. I mean, I'm expecting only one operation in my web service, so I don't want to configure a pick activity here. In the earlier session, in the arithmetic service program, we removed the receive activity and configured the pick activity because we want to configure multiple operations in the web service. But here, I am not looking for multi operation. It's a single operation. Default receive activity and reply activity are enough to continue the process. Okay, but so what we want to do in this paper process, we want to implement a conditional logic. We want to implement a conditional logic. See guys, we have different activities in this list. So there is an activity called if activity. By using if activity, you can implement conditional logic. Simply drag drop this if activity. Okay, now in this if activity, there are two types of branches we can configure: conditional branch and else branch. I mean, if branch and else branch. Okay, if the condition is true, if branch will be executed. If the condition is false, else branch will be executed. Okay, so how to configure this if activity, we'll see. Let it load. It is taking time. Let us load the if activity. Okay, it is able to load now. Now you see this, guys, there is an if branch, there is an else branch. So now this if branch is a conditional branch. Okay, else branch has no condition. When all the conditions fail, then control goes to else branch. You can add more condition branches if you just select the header. See, this is the top icon of if branch. Here you can see the plus icon. Just click on this plus icon. You can add a else if branch. Else if branch. Okay, if branch, else if branch, else branch. You can add more else if branches according to your requirement. If you want you want to check multiple conditions, you can add any number of else if branches. Okay, so as of now, I have only one condition. I don't need all these branches. I will delete them. Okay, let me delete the branches. Done. So what I want to do is this branch, I want to use it for valid credit card. Else branch, I want to use it for invalid credit card. Okay, so for communication purpose or for easy understanding, we can set the labels. Okay, I will say valid CC branch. Okay, and this one I will name it as invalid CC branch. So this is just label. We are not doing anything else. It is just a display name. I'm just giving some display name. Anyway, how to set the condition? If you go to if branch, first select it and double click on the if branch. Once you double click on the if branch, you can see an expression, condition. Click on FX. Click on FX. Hi guys, I'm back. Okay, fine. So now if you see, voice is audible, right?
Yes, sir. Now audible.
Okay. So here I want to design the condition. What is the condition? Credit card number greater than or equal to 5,000. So guys, in real time, this is not the credit card validation process. I just want to show you how to implement the conditional logic. Okay, it's not the actual credit card validation process. Okay, right. So our intention is to implement a condition here. How to implement the condition? It's on the input variable. So I want to check whether the credit card number is greater than 5,000 or not. Okay, the credit card number, I am getting it in the input variable. In the input variable, I will get the credit card number. We know the structure of input variable, right? Card request, CC number, CC vendor. So here you can see the CC number. Just select the expression. So you can see the expression. We got the CC number from input variable. What we want to do is equals to, sorry, not is equals to, it must be a logical operator greater than or is equal to. What you can do, go to the functions, you can see logical functions. Here you can see not equal, equal, less than, greater than or equals to. So we want to use the greater than or equals to function. Just select, click on the button to select the expression. See, this is the expression. You can type it manually, not an issue. Greater than or equals to, okay, what we want, greater than or equals to 5,000. If the CC number greater than or equals to 5,000, this condition is true. This condition becomes true. If the CC number not greater than 5,000, control goes to else branch. In else branch, we no need to set any conditions. It's an else branch. Okay, if conditional branches are false, all conditional branches are false, your people process control goes to else branch. People is a top to bottom execution, right? Now, what the condition we set, condition is ready. So what if this condition is true? What we want to do? If condition is true, I want to decide the card status as valid credit card. If the condition is false, I want to decide the card status as invalid credit card. Okay, so how you can set up the, I mean, how you can do some data setting, data mapping. We can use the assign activity. Simply drag drop an assign activity in the valid branch. Go to the assign activity. Here you can set your output variable. Go to your output variable and you want to set the CC status. If the control went inside valid CC branch, I want to set card status as valid. Okay, card status as valid. Done. And in the output, another two more fields are expecting mapping: CC number, CC name. So CC number, CC name, I can get it from the input variable. Let's map CC number and CC vendor name. Done. So we are ready with the valid branch. You can rename the assign activity. Go to general tab, assign valid status. Okay, assign valid status. So guys, this is just label. This is just a display name. There is nothing else. Okay, this name can't do anything. It is just a user defined naming convention to make it understand. If somebody looks into your code, they should understand, okay, this activity is for receiving input. This activity is for valid credit card branch. This activity is for invalid credit card branch. By looking into the naming convention, they understand, that's it. But it won't change the logic or the business logic of the process. Okay, now suppose if the card is valid, the control, if the card is greater than 5,000, control went into if branch and set the output. We set the output with multiple mappings, correct? Suppose if the card is not greater than 5,000, control goes to else branch, and then I want to set the card status as invalid. To set the data, we are using assign activity. Just go to assign activity, set your output variable, my card status, drag drop the expression builder here, effects on CC status. I want to set the card status as invalid. invalid. I'm using all capital letters. Okay, there is no specific reason for that. I'm just following the keyword. That's it. I'm hard coding my response as invalid. Of course, here you can set your request. You can set your credit card number from the input variable to output variable, credit card vendor from the input variable to output variable. Done. If you see this, guys, in the valid branch and in the invalid branch, I'm doing some mappings. Okay, let me give a name as well. Assign invalid status. Okay, just a display name, nothing else. Now, so here if you see, in the valid case or in the invalid case, in both the cases there are some common mappings. What are they? Other than status, status will change in these two branches. Status field definitely different value. In the first branch, status field is expecting valid status. Second branch, the status field is expecting invalid status. But other than status, you can see CC number and vendor name is a generic mapping irrespective of if branch and else branch. Yes or no? So when it is a generic mapping irrespective of if branch and else branch, we can keep that mapping out of the if branch. You no need to perform the mapping inside if branch. If you perform the mapping inside if and else branch, you need to do the same coding 2 times. See, here I mapped credit card number and CC vendor. 2 fields I mapped. The same 2 fields I mapped even in the other activity, in the else branch. In the else branch also I did the same mapping. So it's not suggestible to duplicate the code. What I will do, I will remove this unwanted mapping or the duplicate mapping in both the branches. Okay, I will remove the duplicate mapping in both the branches. I will keep this mapping in a common place. Okay, common place is either before if activity or after if activity. It will be a common place. Okay, so I want to map the required fields. What are the fields we need to map? CC vendor, CC number. Okay, I want to copy the CC number and CC vendor from source input variable to target output variable. Done. Okay, so guys, you understand why I am using additional assign activity. So to avoid the duplicate coding, I'm using an additional assign out of if activity, either before if or after if. See, you can drag this. You can drag this to before if as well. Okay, it's your choice. Okay, I will name it as assign common mappings. Is it fine? I'm just giving a proper naming convention. There is no big secret here. Done. Now deploy and test your program. Sir, any questions? Any questions in the program development? A small logic I implemented with condition part. That's it. Any questions from anyone? Please unmute yourself and let me know if you have any questions.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Go to the log screen. In the log screen, you can see the deployment tab and SOA tab to know the status of the build and deployment. SOA tab will tell you the build status if the code successfully built in 19 seconds. Okay. Deployment tab, it is doing the deployment. Okay, deployment finished, which took 32 seconds. Go to your enterprise manager. How to test this program, sir? You can test this program directly in your enterprise manager, or you can use your SOAP UI, or you can use any browser. Okay, let me go to SOAP UI because I want to test this card validation system multiple times. Okay, for that reason, what I will do, I will create the SOAP UI client project, which I can reuse whenever I want to test this program. I can reuse the client project, right? Let me open my SOAP UI as well parallelly. Go to deployed composites just to see whether the service deployed properly or not. You can see the card validation system here. Go to card validation system program and capture the endpoint. I mean the concrete whistle. We need a concrete whistle, right? To test any web service, we need concrete whistle. Get the concrete whistle. This is the icon. If you click on this icon, the concrete whistle URL will be populated. Copy this. Copy the concrete whistle. Okay. And then now go to your SOAP UI. Go to your SOAP UI. Create a new SOAP project. Create a new SOAP project. Initiate whistle. Provide your whistle. Provide your whistle. The host name, I want to use it as localhost because the server is my localhost server. Of course, if your server is a remote server, you can use the proper host name and the port number. Okay, I will name it as card validation system client. Okay, just a user defined keyword, guys. There is no restriction or a rule to give the same name like this. Okay, just say okay. What will happen? It is going to create a project for me. This is a SOAP project, not SOA project. It is not SOA project. It is a SOAP project. You can test any technology web service by using SOAP UI. We are using SOAP UI to test the SOA project. Okay, save all. Just save everything. I want to save this on my desktop. I will create a folder. I will create a folder called SOAP UI. Okay. In this, I will save my project. Done. And here you can see the request. You can see the request, guys. How to increase the font. Here also, we must have an option to increase the font. Is the font visible or shall I increase the font? Everybody. Can you confirm? Is the font visible for you?
Increase the font, sir.
Visible, sir.
Where is the report of this? I will check how to change the font. But for now, just try to help me. Try to follow it. I will keep it somewhere in a notepad. Okay. I used CC vendor Visa. Okay. Let me copy this and paste it in a notepad. I need to find out how to increase the font. I will check that. Okay. See this? This is the request XML. This is the request XML. Okay. I'm using CC number as 6543 and Visa. What is the expected output, sir? When the rate card number is greater than 5,000, what is the expected output? Expected output. CC status as valid status. Yes. Can you please speak out? Unmute yourself and speak out. I came to know whether you understand or not.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Let's test your project. Submit the request. If you submit the request, it's a synchronous web service. So our expectation is we must receive the output. So we got the output. Go to the XML tab. In the XML tab, you can see the response XML. You can see the response XML. Let me paste the response XML in the notepad file. Okay. See what is the response we received? Valid.
Valid.
CC status as valid. Suppose if I change the credit card number less than 5,000, I used only 654. Submit the request. Now you can see the response. Now you can see the response. We receive the response invalid. We receive the response invalid. Are we good? Are we good? So our program is working as expected. Our program is working as expected, right? Just go to your flow instances. You can observe we tested the program 2 times, so we are expecting 2 instances here. Open each instance. So guys, don't stop. The program is giving the expected response. Don't stop at that point. You just go through the flow instance and observe each activity, what is executed and how the instance looks like. Okay, search for the recent instances. You can expect 2 instances here. 2 instances. Let me open the first instance. So what is the request received and what branch executed? You can check that. So this is my BPEL process. Go to the BPEL process. You can go to the flow view. It's a graphical view. Of course, you can go to audit trail as well. Both will show you the same approach. I mean, same information is available in audit trail as well as flow tab. You can see here, receive activity receives your input. It receives your input, and then assign activity. If you see the assign activity, your output variable updated. 2 mappings we performed. We performed 2 mappings, but looks like the audit instance in production mode. That's what we are not able to see the data in the assign activity. Of course, you know how to change the audit trail property value, right? Audit property. You can change it, then you can get the assign activity values as well. And you can see the if branch. If branch, if you observe, we are in the valid assign activity. I mean, assign activity with valid status. See the label. Okay, and then you got the reply activity, which is returning valid status. So whenever you designed a program, you always need to test the program, positive case and negative case. Both you need to test, not just valid credit card. You also need to test invalid credit card. So we tested both the cases, correct? So I mean, make it your regular practice. Any program when you are testing, you must test the positive case as well as negative case. Both the cases you need to test. Then only you confirm that program is working. If you don't test negative case, we cannot confirm program is working. Okay, done. Let me go to the other instance. If you open the second instance, why it is blocked? It's blocker. Hello. Let me reload the page. Some pop-up blocker is blocking my screen. The same way you can also open the second instance, observe each activity, guys. What is the input received, which branch executed, is it if branch or else branch executed? You observe it, and then you confirm, okay, all the positive case and negative case, everything is working. Okay, done. So once the testing is over, so this is what step number 10, implementation of card validation system completed. Step number 11, perform testing on your card validation system. We are done with this, right? Now go to step number 12, that is commit and push code into GitHub along with feature branch. Along with your feature branch. Okay, so now what I need to do, go to the git command prompt. So this is my git command prompt, and what I want to do, if you see the git status, it will show you the files. It is saying .jws modified, and a new folder created, a new folder with a bunch of files are untracked files. Untracked, we newly created it. It is not this card validation system. I mean, GitHub, Git repository has no clue on this new project. We created it as a new project. Okay, we need to tell the Git repository, let's add this, stage these files, commit these files, and push these files. Okay, and observe the JWS file. Why JWS file modified? Because a new entry came in the JWS file. Go to your application, see your JWS file. When you add a new project, when you are introducing a new project, a new entry will be added in your JWS file. You remember in the first Hello World session, we discussed about it before Hello World session. Okay, so while I am introducing applications and SOA projects, whenever you have a new SOA project, that will be added into your JWS file. Okay, fine. That's what the reason it is showing JWS file modified status, and card validation system project as untracked file, untracked. Okay, done. So what I want to do now, go to git GUI, stays all the required files, guys. Whatever file you want to commit, whatever file you want to keep in the repository, okay, you need to stays the files. SCA-INF not required. SCA-INF files are not required. .xsd required. Visdal required. Beeple required. See the Beeple file required. Okay, and then composite file required. You need to click on this icon, this corner, left corner, you can see the small file icon, right? You just need to click on this icon. So once you click on it, these are all the selected files. Bottom, you can see the selected files. Okay, this jar not required. JWS required. JWS is a mandatory file, right? Just click on the JWS file. Check, is there anything we left? Any required file we left? See, JPR is very important file. You should not miss the JPR file. It comes to you in practice, guys. What files required, what files not required. You can learn. Okay, so this data folder not required. Data folder. In the Beeple folder, graphic files not required. We can reload them every time. SCA-INF files also not required. We can reload them every time. Okay, jar also not required. It is also regenerated every time. That's it. So we are good. We are good. Suppose, guys, you don't know what file need to be inserted, what file need to be selected or committed into Git, what file no need to commit it to Git, then simply select all files. Okay, simply select every file. Then that won't make any issue for you. Okay, that increases your repository size. That's it. Okay, now I want to add a commit. Card validation system program development and testing completed. I'm just adding some comment, meaningful comment. Click on the commit button. Once you click on the commit button, your code committed in your local Git repository. It is not in your central Git repository. Let's go to central Git repository. Let me log in into my GitHub. If you see the repository here, this is my repository. If you go to the repository, you can see there is a branch, CVS, Card Validation System branch. Select, see, activate your CVS branch. Okay, once you activate your CVS branch, you can see your application. Open your application. You don't see the Card Validation System because we committed our code in our local repository, not in the central repository. How our code will go to central repository? It's very simple. You need to click on the push button. If you click the push button, okay, and select the branch, which one you want to push, click push button. Now what happened? Your local repository branch is going to update central repository branch. Then once you get this green color, say okay. Now go back to the browser, refresh your browser. Now you can see in your features/CSV branch, okay, this branch contains your card validation system. 2 minutes back, it is not there in the central repository, but now you can see that because we perform the push command. But guys, if you go to main branch, see this main branch SOA application don't contains this card validation system project. Main branch SOA application. This is main branch. My SOA application don't have the card validation system because we implemented the new enhancement. In my feature branch. I implemented a feature in my feature branch. See, card validation system is one feature of the project. Okay. That feature I implemented in my feature branch, not in the main branch. Okay, so that's what the reason you can see your CL card validation system only in the card validation system branch. Only in the respective branch you can see the project. Are we good? Any questions? Any questions till now? This is not SOA. This is GitHub and Git. Okay, where you develop the feature, that branch contains within the feature branch. It won't go to the other branch. Any questions? Any questions from anyone?
No, sir.
No question? Shall I go to the next point? Okay, so once you committed your code into your required feature branch and push the code into Git repository, GitHub repository, okay, your feature branch is done. So now what I want to do, see, this is what we discussed, right, in the previous session. So you must have a master branch, nothing but main branch, and then you implemented your logic in a feature branch, and then I asked you to merge. I asked you to merge feature branch into master branch. So in our case, merge feature slash card validation system into main branch. I want to merge feature branch into main branch. So in the production, we always deploy the code into production from main branch. We never deploy the code into production from feature branch. Okay, feature branch is very specific to one common one specific feature. Okay, but main branch will contain the entire code. So for that reason, our target is, after development, we should move the code into main branch or master branch. Okay, so what I need to do, I want to perform the merge operation. It's very simple, guys. Merge operation, what you need to do, check out main branch, and then pull feature branch into main branch, and then commit and push main branch into GitHub. So these 3 steps we need to perform to complete the merge process. Okay, so what I need to do, line number 40. Let me close this guy. This is over. Let me close this pop-up. Okay, now go to your command prompt. What I need to do, first check out into main branch. See, currently I am in feature branch, so this is not required. I want to check out into main branch. What is the command? Git checkout main. Git checkout main. Now I am in main branch. Okay, within main branch, what I am asking, pull. So the command is git pull origin. Git pull origin. This is a standard command, guys. Feature slash card validation system, CVS. You need to pull it. So I mean, I'm just pulling the branch into my main branch. Okay, once you perform this pull, see, this is saying these are all the files, these are all the changes happened. Okay, so this JWS file updated. Okay, and these are all the card validation system files added to your project. See, this plus 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 means added. Okay, newly added to your repository, I mean your branch. Okay, one change or some new changes added. Okay, now you can see git status. See what it is saying. These are all the, I mean, your git branch. I mean, how the status, anything not committed, anything out of control, I mean, staged, unstaged, all the statuses you can see here. And finally, go to git GUI. If you go to git GUI, let me minimize this. Okay, yeah, now you can see if any required files are missing, just cross check once again. If any required files, no, these are all the unwanted files only. I can see all these are unwanted files. No file need to be committed. Okay, then what you simply do, there is nothing to commit, so you don't need to click on the commit button. You simply do the push button. And this time the target branch is main branch, not the CVS branch, because we want to push our code into main branch. Click push. Done. Now what happened? Your code merged and pushed. Merged and pushed into main branch. Now go to your Git repository, GitHub repository, refresh the screen and go to the main branch. Go to the main branch. If you go to the main branch, you can see your main branch contains card validation system. Is it clear, sir? This is the process we want to follow. So to merge the code, you need to follow the process. So there is nothing to commit. I mean, if there are some changes you want to commit, you can commit. But in our current use case, there is nothing to commit here. I simply perform the push operation. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. Yeah, you can ask me questions. If you have any questions, please let me know.